Let's be real. The United States, land of the free, home of the brave, also happens to be the land of some seriously strange laws. We're talking head-scratching, eyebrow-raising, did they really just say that kind of laws? So buckle up, because today we're taking a hilarious journey through the wacky world of US laws that are still, believe it or not, technically on the books. You might want to grab a snack for this one because you won't believe some of the things lawmakers have come up with over the years. Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the wild world of bizarre US laws that are still technically on the books. You won't believe some of these. Okay folks, first up, we're heading down south to the great state of Georgia, where apparently, having a sweet tooth on a Sunday could land you in some hot water. Yes, you heard that right. Georgia, known for its peaches, southern hospitality, and rich history, also has some rather peculiar laws that might just leave you scratching your head. You see, in Georgia, it's illegal to put an ice cream cone in your back pocket on a Sunday. This isn't just some urban legend or a joke, it's an actual law that has been on the books for quite some time. I know, right? It sounds like something out of a cartoon, but it's a real law. Imagine the surprise of someone new to the state, innocently enjoying their ice cream, only to find out they're breaking the law by simply placing it in their back pocket. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth would anyone make a law about ice cream cones in back pockets? It seems so specific and frankly a bit absurd. But as with many strange laws, there's usually an interesting story behind it. Well, the prevailing theory, and this is where it gets interesting, is that this law dates back to a time when horses were a primary mode of transportation. Back in the day, horses were as valuable as cars are today, and horse theft was a serious crime. Apparently, some sneaky individuals would use ice cream cones to lure horses away from their unsuspecting owners. They'd place the cone in their back pocket and the horse, enticed by the sweet treat, would follow them away. I guess a horse can't resist a delicious scoop of vanilla on a hot day, even if it means betraying its owner. It's a clever, albeit mischievous tactic that led to the creation of this unusual law. So to combat this equine-related crime wave, the brilliant minds of the past decided to outlaw the act of putting ice cream cones in back pockets, but only on Sundays. This raises even more questions, doesn't it? Why Sundays? Maybe they figured horse thieves needed a day off too. Or perhaps Sundays were particularly busy days for horse thefts, given that people were more relaxed and less vigilant. Honestly, the Sunday part remains a mystery, but the whole thing is just another example of how history can be totally bizarre. It's these little quirks that make diving into the past so fascinating. Imagine getting arrested for such a thing. The sheer absurdity of it is almost too much to handle. But it does make you wonder about the enforcement of such a law. You're walking down the street, enjoying your Sunday stroll and your ice cream cone, when suddenly, bam! Out of nowhere, you're stopped by a police officer. You're tackled to the ground by a police officer yelling, "Sir, you have the right to remain silent, but anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law." The officer's stern expression contrasts sharply with the ridiculousness of the situation. You are being detained for the illegal possession of an ice cream cone in your back pocket on a Sunday. The charges sound almost comical, yet here you are, in handcuffs, facing the consequences of this outdated law. I can just picture the courtroom scene, the stern judge, the jury struggling to keep a straight face, and the defendant, covered in melted ice cream, trying to explain that they were just trying to get home before it melted all over their hands. The whole scenario is like something out of a slapstick comedy. It's a comedy of errors waiting to happen. The laughter and disbelief in the courtroom would be palpable, turning a serious legal proceeding into a farcical event. But hey, at least it makes for a good story, right? Imagine telling your friends about the time you almost got arrested for having an ice cream cone in your back pocket. It's the kind of tale that would be retold for years, always bringing a smile to people's faces. And it definitely makes you wonder what other strange laws are lurking out there in the dusty law books of America. There are undoubtedly many more odd and outdated regulations that once made sense, but now seem utterly ridiculous. These laws are a window into the past, showing us how society has evolved in what was once considered important enough to legislate. They remind us that while times change, the remnants of our history remain, often in the most unexpected places. So next time you're in Georgia, or anywhere else for that matter, take a moment to appreciate the quirky, bizarre, and downright funny aspects of history that still linger in our modern world. Who knows? You might just stumble upon another gem of a law that makes you laugh and think about the past in a whole new light. And remember, while some laws may seem silly, they all have a story to tell. They are a testament to the creativity, ingenuity, and sometimes the sheer oddity of human nature. So here's to the strange, the funny, and the downright weird laws that make our world a more interesting place. Alright, let's move on to our next stop on this legal adventure, Alabama. This state, known for its rich history and vibrant culture, has some of the most unique and, dare I say, quirky laws in the United States. Now, Alabama is known for its southern hospitality, delicious barbecue, and a warm, welcoming atmosphere that makes you feel right at home. The people here are friendly, always ready with a smile and a kind word. But beyond the friendly faces and mouth-watering food, Alabama also has a strict stance on certain behaviors, especially when it comes to places of worship. One such peculiar law involves the wearing of fake mustaches in church. Yes, you heard that right. In Alabama, it's illegal to wear a fake mustache that causes laughter in church. This might sound like a joke, but it's a real law that has been on the books for quite some time. I mean, you have to admit, it's kind of hard not to chuckle at the thought of someone sitting in a pew, sporting a giant, bushy, obviously fake mustache, trying to maintain a straight face, while the preacher delivers a sermon. The image alone is enough to bring a smile to anyone's face. It's a recipe for comedic disaster. Imagine the ripple effect of laughter spreading through the congregation, turning a solemn service into a scene of uncontrollable giggles. But all jokes aside, this law actually makes a lot of sense when you consider the historical context. Back in the day, church was a serious affair, a place for solemn reflection and spiritual contemplation. People dressed in their finest attire, and any kind of disruptive behavior was frowned upon. The church was a sanctuary of peace and reverence, and maintaining decorum was of utmost importance. People dressed in their finest attire, and any kind of disruptive behavior was frowned upon. The church was a sanctuary of peace and reverence, and maintaining decorum was of utmost importance. So, it's understandable that wearing a fake mustache, especially one designed to elicit laughter, would be seen as disrespectful and inappropriate. The church was a place where people sought solace and connection with the divine, not a venue for comedy. Imagine the scandal. You're in church listening to the sermon when suddenly a man in the front pew bursts into laughter. The sound echoes through the silent hall, drawing the attention of everyone present. He's trying to stifle it, but he can't help himself. The more he tries to hold it in, the more it bubbles up until he's shaking with suppressed laughter. The source of his amusement? A woman sitting across the aisle, her upper lip adorned with a bright pink glittery mustache that seems to quiver with every word the preacher speaks. It's a sight so absurd that it's impossible not to laugh. The entire congregation turns to stare, whispers erupt, and the woman, mortified, tries to disappear into her hymnal. The once serene atmosphere is now filled with hushed conversations and stifled giggles. The preacher, visibly flustered, struggles to regain control of the situation. His carefully prepared sermon is now overshadowed by the unexpected comedy act unfolding before him. It's a scene straight out of a silent film, complete with exaggerated expressions and melodramatic gestures. The preacher's attempts to restore order only add to the chaos, making the situation even more humorous. Of course, in today's world, this law seems a bit outdated. We're much more accustomed to humor and lightheartedness, even in sacred spaces. The idea of banning fake mustaches in church might seem overly strict to modern sensibilities. We're much more accustomed to humor and lightheartedness, even in sacred spaces. Many churches today embrace a more relaxed atmosphere where laughter and joy are welcomed as part of the worship experience. But it's a fascinating reminder of how societal norms and expectations have evolved over time. What was once considered disruptive and disrespectful is now often seen as a harmless bit of fun. This law, while seemingly trivial, offers a glimpse into the values and priorities of a bygone era. So, the next time you find yourself in Alabama, remember this quirky piece of legal history. It's a testament to the state's rich cultural heritage and the ever-changing landscape of societal norms. And who knows, it might just give you a newfound appreciation for the importance of context and tradition in shaping our laws. As we continue our journey through the unique and sometimes bizarre laws of the United States, let's take a moment to appreciate the beauty and diversity of each state. From the rolling hills to the bustling cities, every corner of this country has its own story to tell. Stay tuned as we uncover more fascinating legal oddities and explore the rich tapestry of American culture. Until next time, keep your mustaches real and your laughter hearty. Well, that's all the legal weirdness we have time for today, but don't worry. there's always more where that came from. The world is full of strange and quirky laws that can leave you scratching your head or laughing out loud. Can you believe these laws actually exist? It's almost like stepping into a parallel universe where the rules are written by comedians. From bizarre restrictions to downright hilarious mandates, these laws remind us that truth is often stranger than fiction. It just goes to show that reality is often stranger than fiction, and that the legal system can be a truly hilarious and baffling place. Imagine being in a courtroom where the judge has to enforce these odd rules. It must be quite the spectacle. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the absurd side of American law, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing content. We love bringing you these fascinating tidbits, and your support helps us keep the weirdness coming. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. We have plenty more strange and wonderful topics lined up, and you won't want to miss a single one. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and most importantly, don't get caught putting an ice cream cone in your back pocket on a Sunday in Georgia. Thanks for watching. Remember, the world is a strange place and there's always something new and quirky to discover. If you enjoyed learning about these crazy laws, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more quirky content. See you next time. Keep exploring, keep laughing, and keep embracing the weirdness that makes life so interesting.